Hey YouTube, what's going on? Chris here. I want to bring you guys a little update of what I was looking at Bitcoin. And the question I want to ask you guys, are we in another descending triangle? And do you believe that we're going to come down here to 3100 or 3100 and double bottom? Or are we going to completely break out of this new potential descending triangle? And are we going to go down to that 1882, right around that range where we would potentially find support? So guys, that's what I want you to do. Leave that down low for me if you could. Like, subscribe, hit that like button, the notification bell, all that. I really appreciate it. Guys, I'm not going to make this the longest video in the world today, but what I'm looking at is Bitcoin in another descending triangle? And we have to figure this out, guys, because if this does break down again and it follows the pattern of the last descending triangle, this could very well take us down to that $1,800 or even less, guys. And I want you to be prepared because, you know, those could be great accumulation zones for the long term. So what we're looking at, guys, if you noticed, after we pushed up and we had this nice beautiful bull run, we came back down and we had this massive reaction. Now what I did here, I took a trend line and I drew it, and you can see all these lower highs that are taking place. Now what we were having while we were having these lower highs, we were having a flat bottom. So we were forming a descending triangle. And about 64 to 70% of the time, guys, you're going to have a descending triangle that breaks down, and that's what we had because it followed the trend. And the trend was down at that point. We were in a bear market. Now you got another about 25-30% that it could break to the upside, and if we would have broke to the upside, excuse me, I bet you we would have tested probably around that $7,500 or $8,500 range, depending how we came out of there with volume. Now, why I'm telling you guys to be prepared is, do you see how we're basically having another descending triangle forming? We're having lower highs that are taking place, and we're also having this almost flat bottom. Depends on what happens if we come down here and we hit a double bottom off this right here around that 30, let's see guys, that would be 3,100, 3,200. So we would have had a touch back here, we would have had a touch here, and then we would have another touch. And if that double bottom, if we're not able to break out of this on volume, this white trend line that I have coming down here, guys, then most likely we're going to be getting pushed down to the downside. And what would happen is you would basically take the butt of this right here, guys, which I measured, which is about 45%, and we would add it to where the price is right now. Say it were to break down, and that would put us in the target range of around that 1882, maybe a little bit lower than that, around 1800 or so. And that's what I wanted you guys to be prepared for. Now, say 1800 doesn't hold, guys, and that's where we had nice volume come in here. You can see in a bull market, as we're moving up, guys, you see the higher highs that were forming and the higher lows that were forming. That's the bull market. And now in the bear market, we're having the lower highs that are taking place and the lower lows that are taking place. And until we set a higher high, we're probably going to continue just to fall down lower and lower and lower until this trend changes. And another big key sign for us, guys, is this low volume that's taking place. You can see the volume's really, really low from this spike here. And whenever you have a huge move out of a descending triangle like that, either to the upside or the downside, it's going to come on massive volume, and that's exactly what it did. So, guys, this is what I wanted to bring to you today, and I wanted you to let me know, do you believe truly in your heart of hearts, are we going to double bottom down here off this 31 or so and make a move to the upside and break out of this white trend line that's coming down in these lower highs that we had? Or do you feel like we're just going to capitulate again and just roll over again and fall down here to that 1882? Because it's very important, guys, a lot of the times to just step back and really look at these things. And just like we've looked at the moving averages, guys, take a look at the moving averages. They are still overhead and they're bullying us. They're just pushing us down, pushing us down. And that's how you have to treat them when you're in a bull market as well, that they're a strong floor for you. Because remember, they act as support and resistance. So do you see that? How this 20, we've tried to wick through it here, we tried to wick through it here, and that's guys taking profits. Once they saw us get to this 20 and get through it, they said, okay, we're going to be going back down, so I'm going to take profits, and that's what you're seeing. Even trying to wick up here to this 50 moving average. Because guys, if first we would need to close over the 20 moving average, then we would need to get over the 50 moving average, then we would need to get over the 100 moving average, and then the 200, and we need closes above all those for this trend to change along with the higher highs and the higher lows. You can see the lows here, guys. Do you see them just getting lower? Just like that, higher lows. Or lower highs, I'm sorry, guys. Now down here we do have higher lows that are taking place. So here's our low. and then we had a higher low put in here. And I'm watching that, guys. I'm still paying very, very close attention to that. But in my opinion, we didn't get the type of bounce yesterday that we would have wanted to get. So we throw the Fibonacci on here, and you know how we were getting a bounce off the 786, and now we're just kind of floating above it. We didn't really get much of a move out of there. And remember, I said, guys, are we going to get back in that triangle? I was asking that question. Are we going to get back in the triangle? And we didn't. So we were being rejected at the 20 EMA, which is basically typical. That's what I was thinking was going to happen, guys, and that's exactly what happened. We could not get back up in there. And if you draw this trend line, you can see where this is where I had my trend line from before, guys. It was right through here, I do believe, just like that. It was either here, guys, or it was right in here. Still, you can see we didn't even get back up into this trend line or even test this trend line yet due to this 20 EMA that's coming down and pressuring us. So it looks like more so we're just typically going to want to roll over and follow the direction of the trend. Because another thing we have to look at too are trend lines. And when you look at these trend lines, like this one, guys, this one's coming overhead that we have to break out of as well. And we're not there yet. So I'm going to pay attention to this trend line. So let's get the lower one off here. And now, guys, are we going to break this? Or are we going to have a rejection? And if we don't have this, then we're going to definitely come down here to that 31.57, where I do believe, guys, we'll probably get a little bit of a bounce here. It may be just a quick reaction, but I do feel like guys are going to be buying here. And the reason I feel like that is due to the double bottom. That's a potential for us. So say we have rejection here and we roll down to this double bottom. And also when we made this move off that 31.54, it came on some decent volume here and we moved up. So obviously buyers were interested there. But we're going to have to look for that, you know, divergences and all that in the RSI. And that's what I want to do next, guys. I want to take you to the RSI quick. And this is all on the 12-hour chart that we've been looking at, guys, right now. Alright, so let's do the RSI, see how that's looking. Guys, and still the RSI is just rolling over. You know, you can draw different trend lines. You can draw one here. And guys, I actually like to use different fanning technique on trend lines as well. So then we would have our next one here. So we'll look for a series of breaks. So first we need to get through this one. Then a lot of times you'll come back, bounce off this one, and then make an attempt for this one. But it's very important to put support, resistance, trend lines, all that type of stuff, and right here, guys, on the RSI. So this is the floor that needs to be held. And you can see we're getting in that squeezing motion, that descending triangle essentially. The highs are getting lower, and then we're just kind of staying flat here on the bottom. And what you have to think about that is, guys, we're basically having that downward pressure. So these lower highs are just building upon themselves and building upon themselves and gaining strength. But the floor down there is going to get weaker because each time it's got tested past that 3 or 4 times, then you have a potential of that wall breaking. So, guys, I wanted to bring this to you. I hope that you guys have gotten something out of this. I just really wanted to step back and take a look at this, guys, and pay attention to the macro. Because a lot of times people were just so zoomed up into things that we don't really step back and take a picture of, oh, these are supports, these are resistances. And as you can see, these channels are big. And I mean, even, guys, if we make a move down from 34.19 or whatever, all the way down to that 1800, that's a heck of a move if you can catch it to the downside. And it's also a heck of a buying opportunity in terms of the long term. And guys, remember, I'm not your financial advisor or anything like that. I'm just telling you these market cycles do come back around. And if you're able to pick, you know, Bitcoin up for $1,800 if it gets down there, and we had an all-time high of 20,000, and, you know, in the future, guys, we'll most likely go back to test that all-time high. Even if we didn't make it up above it, that's potentially monster life-changing gains. It could be an 18x or more for you. So, you know, these are the things that you want to pay attention to, guys, especially in the altcoins as well. And the altcoins, there's even a greater chance for good percentage moves, and that's why a lot of guys like altcoins, because they move a lot faster to the upside and the downside. There's positives and negatives to them, guys. But remember, lower highs taking place, and remember how we went over that descending triangle and what it looked like and how we had that big break after it. So be prepared, guys. First stop here, we're going to look for 31 47 as support. If that does not hold, guys, we're most likely going to be going down to that 28 and then maybe to that 1800. Then on the upside, guys, we just have to keep working here. We got to get above that 35.95, and then we have 37.24, and then we have 4,000, which is going to be a monster. That one's going to be very difficult, guys, and that's right here. Right there. It's going to be very difficult to get up above. But wanted to bring this quick to you guys. I'm hoping to get maybe another video or two out today. But if you could, like, subscribe, all that, I really appreciate it, my friends. God bless each and every one of you.